Hey there, Joel here, and welcome to this online class. Today's chapter is going to be a mathematics chapter of class 7, and that is in this chapter, simple equations. First of all, we need to know a few things before we even start knowing what are simple equations. Alright, so let me give you an example. I have a fan rotating. Okay, so let me write it or let me draw it for you. Okay, so there is a dirty drawing of one fan. Okay, now this fan is rotating and there is a table. Okay, now on this table I place one table tennis ball. Okay, and the table is completely flat, so the ball is resting exactly in the center. The moment I put on the fan, okay, the fan blades are rotating slowly. Okay, so after the first rotation is done, the ball moves slightly on one side. I let it rotate for the second time, it moves more at the edge. I let it rotate again, it moves still further, and finally, after 4 rounds of the fan, okay, the ball actually falls down. Simple. Now, let me write it like this. So, 4 times the fan movement, okay? So 4 times the fan rotation, what happens? The ball falls down. Okay, the ball falls. Now, in this, I don't want to write the entire word, okay? Because I can understand most of the students don't like to write too much of sentences and stuff, right? So, what we'll do is we'll give it a letter. So, I can write this as, okay, instead of 4 fans, let me write it as 4 F. And instead of write the word ball, I can write the letter B. So normally when you would study mathematics, you always have written numbers. But this is a time when you are writing numbers and letters together. So in a simple equation, when we are talking about, we have letters, we have numbers, we have signs. Okay, now when do we say is an equation? Okay, something when you're writing like this, when do we say it is an equation? First of all, when I have a letter, this letter will be called as a variable. Alright, so in an equation in mathematics, when we have letters, okay, we call it as a variable. Okay. Now, why variable? Variable is nothing but something that is changing. Okay, so the fan was rotating, right? It was changing its direction, it was changing its placement, it was changing its position. Is a variable, there is some change in it. Okay, now this variable can be temperature. So in a particular place or in a container, when you put water and put it under a flame, the temperature is changing. So the temperature is a variable, something that is changing. Okay, now, and the ball falls down, so the movement, the placement of the ball also is changing, right? So the variable. So in general term, when we talk about equations, remember that variables are nothing but something that is changing. Okay, now the moment I put a arithmetic symbol, okay, whether it is a plus, it is a minus, or multiplication, division, whatever you want to put, okay, the moment I put a symbol, this becomes an expression. Okay, it becomes a expression. So till now what we have seen is some letters and numbers together. Numbers are called as coefficients. Okay. So we have seen something called as coefficients. Letters will be called as variables. Together when you put a plus sign, minus sign, multiplication sign, division sign, it becomes an expression. And finally you equate it to something, a number. Okay, when you equate that expression with an equal to sign and equate it to a number, it will be called as an equation. I hope this initial basic introduction of an equation is clear. We are talking about simple equations. In an equation you might get, okay, a number which is called as a coefficient. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -6, -7, any number. Okay, it will be called as a coefficient, which is with a letter. The letter is called as a variable. Is it compulsory I have to put F or B? No, I can put A, B, C, D till Z. So many letters are there, right? A to Z. I can use whichever one I want. Commonly used letter is X, okay, Y and Z. Sometimes L, M, N also are used. So don't worry about when there are different letters put. You should understand that it's a variable, something that is changing. The moment I put a plus sign, any of those four signs in with those variables and coefficient, it becomes an expression. I express, I'm smiling, right? The expression of that entire letters and variable is an expression. Okay, sometimes you use different emojis to express yourself. Expression. The moment you equate it, put an equal to sign and to something else, it becomes an equation. Okay, I equate that the left hand side, because the moment I put an equal to sign, I'm telling you that there is something called as left hand side and there is something called as right hand side. So this equal to tells us we are balancing it. So something is on the left, something is on the right. This equal to sign is nothing but like a weighing balance. Okay, something you put this side and this side, it has to balance out. Okay, then it becomes a equation.